Hello everyone, welcome to the next session of the Certified Associate in HRM course. In this session we are going to talk about the different job profiles and roles offered in HRM. This will give you a right set of understanding as to what awaits you once you are Certified Associate in HRM or tomorrow once you become Certified Professional in HRM. Now this diagram tells you very broadly what all does a human resource manager do? From recruitment and selection to deciding the compensation to ensuring the right set of performance management activities to the training and development of employees, which can be linked back to the keeping morale of the employees high, and then having a very effective plan for the future human resource needs, be it in terms of new employees who should be joining the organization or be it the existing employees of the organization. All these five components, they go together and they become the part of HR policies and HR initiatives which fall under the umbrella of human resource functions. So, broadly, HR policies to recruitment and selection, to compensation, to performance management, to training and development of employees, to planning the future needs of human resource, either through external sources or through internal sources, all comprise together of human resource functions. This diagram gives you a one shot understanding of the different broad functions of HR manager. In terms of horizontals, when I say horizontals, it basically means the different functions, the functions which cut across the different verticals. So whether you talk about manufacturing sector, whether you talk about automotive sector, whether you talk about telecom sector, whether you talk about FMCGs, whether you talk about IT industry, whether you talk about e-commerce, across all these verticals, you can find three HRM horizontals in terms of profiles. One is HR specialist, second is HR manager, third is HR executive. Now we are going to see in depth that what does a HR specialist do? What does a HR manager do? What does a HR executive do? First of all, let us have a look at HR specialist. Now, HR specialist, it is usually a entry level position once you are done with your MBA in HR, or say you have had few years of experience in HR industry, then you directly become HR specialist. Now, this is after your post graduation, this would be an entry level position. In case you are not an MBA, then you are going to take 3 to 4 years to become a HR specialist. Now, as an HR specialist, your roles would revolve around recruitment, compensation, or say trainer of the employees. Now, as the recruiter, you could be conducting interviews as a compensation analyst. You could be working on computing the salaries, taxations, etc. related activities, and as a trainer, you might be involved in a lot of employee development activities. So basically, a specialist does everything from say orientation program when you join a company or you join an organization, from filtering of applicants, interviewing of applicants, negotiating for contracts with your say part-time supplier of employees, or say the wage structure. A HR specialist could be found doing tits and bits of everything, and that is your entry level in the industry. Just like any other profile, be it in finance, marketing, IT, operations, even in HR, as a HR specialist, you are basically doing every groundwork once you have just entered the HR vertical. And HR specialist is something which you would find across sectors. Now, once you have worked as an HR specialist for some time, you get promoted and you become a HR manager. HR manager is usually a medium or a leadership level position depending upon the size of the organization, depending upon the policies of the organization. It could be either a middle level position or a leadership level position. As a HR manager, you administrate and coordinate each and every HR activity. You are expected to have an in-depth knowledge of all the areas of HRM. You remember the different functions which we talked about, like HR policies, compensation, recruitment, employee development, etc. As a HR manager, you are supposed to have in-depth knowledge and experience of all the areas of HRM. You could be advising and overseeing the line managers. Now, what are line managers? We will be taking it up in the next couple of screens. That what do you mean by HR line manager? For now, just know that as an HR manager, you might be managing a team of HR line managers, and one of your works could be even around translating the organizational strategy into HR policies so that HR policies are in sync with the company's objective and they are supporting it. Now, for this is majorly going to happen for those companies where HR manager is kind of a leadership level position and not just a medium level position. As an HR executive, this is constantly a leadership level position across the companies. Here, your major work revolves around linking the HR corporate strategy with human resource management policies which you have, ensuring that your corporate strategy is in sync with your HR strategy. You work on identifying and addressing the HR limitations within the company, and your uh, major KRA is to ensure and establish a very effective and efficient HR policy set for the company. So this is a kind of an overlap between HR executive and HR manager. In some companies, HR managers could be middle level positions, their HR executives would be a leadership position. In few companies, HR manager could be a leadership position as well, and that is where you would see a good decent overlap between what a HR manager do and what a HR executive do. Moving ahead, we came across the term line managers. Now in this particular screen, we are going to see that what do you mean by line manager, and then vis-a-vis line manager, what is the term staff manager referring to? First of all, let us have a look at line manager. Line manager is someone whom you immediately report in your organization. Suppose if you are working on a project, every project is going to have one HR who is going to deal with day-to-day problems of all the employees of the respective project. He may be even responsible for removing certain team members, based on the need or based on the situation. He may also be required to hire new members in the team based on the requirement. This is the person to whom you send your holiday request, you direct your time allocation, who takes any disciplinary action against you. So this is basically the person with whom you work on a day-to-day manner in your company. Such people, such HR people with whom you work on the day-to-day basis, they are basically the line managers who are basically involved at the most ground level with the employees, and they are directly working with them. These are line managers. Vis-a-vis, a group of line managers would be managed by a staff manager. So staff manager is basically the boss of line managers, the superior of line managers, and you may in the start be a line manager and gradually become a staff manager. And as a staff manager, you would be managing everything across the leadership of the company, and you would arguably be leading the team of leaders, that is leading the team of HRs who are leading the respective teams. So basically, you may start off with line manager as a entry level position and gradually become a staff manager, gradually become a head HR of a department, and gradually become the head HR of the organization. So this is another possible career path which you may visualize once you get into the industry. Now let us have a look at the broad level profiles which are offered to HR managers. This is hot cake. HR analytics, hugely in demand, huge demand of HR analytics these days, and the dearth of supply. Rarely you will find resources with HR analytics knowledge. Forget good resources with HR analytics knowledge, and there's a huge demand. So this is one of the hot cake selling profiles of HR domain, HR analytics. Then you have a profile around talent acquisition, which basically goes around recruitment. Then the profile which you may get is compensation and benefits, where you may be working on salary structure, salary calculations, etc. Then you have talent development, which is majorly about the internal employee development. You come up with a lot of programs and initiatives which may help the employees to develop and continuously grow themselves. And lastly is the industrial relations, where as a HR leader you maintain your terms with other people in the industry, basically the different kind of stakeholders with whom your organization works with. These could be the supplier of contractual labor, these could be leadership of different companies with whom you work on a regular basis as a partner, as a collaborator. So you may be working with different people, and also even the PR is usually being handled by the industrial relations manager. So all these are the five broad categories of the job profiles which you may get as a HR person. Now let us have a look at the most important criteria, one of the most important criteria which drive us to get into HR and lead a good work-life balance with a good compensation. These are the starting average salaries across different profiles offered in the industry. For example, HR analytics, which is one of the hot selling profiles. If you are an MBA and you get into HR analytics, you may have a starting salary of INR 16 lakh plus. If you are a non-MBA, even then you could have a good 7 to 8 lakhs as the starting average salary if you get into HR analytics profile. For non HR analytics profiles, that is for all other profiles except HR analytics, if you are an MBA, your starting average salary would be around INR 10 lakhs. And if you are a non-MBA and if you get into a non-HR analytics profile, then your starting average salary would be around INR 5 lakhs. So this much is the difference in the salaries across the profiles, and these salary numbers also justify the fact that HR analytics is the most hot profile when it comes to HR industry today. And with this, we end this quick and short session on different profiles, salaries, and broad functions of an HR. With this, we'll see you again in the next session, where we are going to deal with how to frame HR policies. So let us end this session and we'll meet again in HR policies session. Thank you.